Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining Manhattan's demo series for point of sale. This is the first session in our new monthly series where we showcase how our modern POS empowers store associates, streamlines fulfillment, and delivers seamless omni-channel experiences that drive sales and customer satisfaction. In the next 30 minutes, you'll see how associates can effortlessly scan items, offer personalized recommendations, and fulfill orders, even when inventory isn't available in store. We'll walk through intelligent promotions, efficient store fulfillment workflows, and seamless payment integration that make transactions faster and more flexible. Before we dive in, let me introduce our speakers. Lindsay and Chris are solution consultants with decades of combined experience in POS, store solutions, order fulfillment, and clienteling. They've worked with hundreds of Tier 1 retailers, helping them bring their omni-channel dreams to life. Today, they'll show you how Manhattan's modern POS powers seamless, efficient, and customer-driven retail experiences. During this call, we encourage you to enter questions in the chat. Our product experts are standing by to answer them in real time. If we can't get to your question, we'll follow up afterwards through email. Our speakers are also available for a personalized demo where they can give you a one-on-one look at how our point of sale can help grow your business. Send us a message in the chat if you'd like to schedule time with Chris or Lindsay. I'll pass it over to our speakers so we can get started.
So thank you so much, Kenneth. Lindsay and I are really excited to be showing you all what we have in store, which is a truly omni-channel experience from the point of view of getting something shipped to an address. So we're going to be talking about a customer walking into a store, looking for something that they can't find, and what it looks like for the associate to help them find that item and create that order, give them the opportunity to upsell, and then I'll be switching it over to Lindsay, who's going to be focusing on what the fulfillment side of that experience looks like, where the store that receives the notification to fulfill that order will be able to pick and pack that order and ship it off to the customer. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my screen and show you what it looks like to create that order in the store. So I'm going to start off with a customer coming into the store. His name is Bernard, and he approaches the cash register and he's got an item in his hand. So I'll start off by attaching Bernard to the transaction. I can search for him using any information that I have, but I've got a loyalty card. So I'm going to go ahead and scan in that loyalty card, which very quickly attaches Bernard to the transaction. You may notice on the left-hand side of the screen, we refresh the Engage tab because now we're looking at Bernard's customer information. So we're getting to know Bernard a little bit better. We're seeing how much he spent with us, what his last transaction was, what he's purchased in the past, so we can scroll through the different purchased items and see his closet. We've got some recommendations appearing at the bottom of the screen. These could be recommendations coming from a third-party recommendations engine as a result of attaching Bernard to the transaction. At the top of the screen, we also might have notes associated to Bernard, and we can also click on the raindrop menu in order to drill down even further to see further details about him. So Bernard's been attached to the transaction. He's got an item in his hand, and I'll go ahead and scan that item. So you'll notice, of course, that the item is added into the cart super quick, and that's because we're taking advantage of a local cache file of item information, even though we do have a cloud solution where we're round tripping to the cloud after the scan to validate that the price is still active and to apply any kind of promotions. We'll also notice on the bottom left-hand side of the screen that the recommendations portion of the screen has been updated based on the fact that I've got an item added into the cart. So again, we can get that from the third-party recommendations engine with the customer and the item attached to the transaction. So that recommendation is interesting to Bernard. I might be at a cash register or I might be on the floor using a mobile device, and so he can see that recommendation in front of him. And so he wants to know more information about that second Move Life graphic t-shirt. So I'm going to select that. That'll bring me directly to the PDP, the product details page for that t-shirt. And he really likes that color. And so he wants to know if we have any in blue. We do have the blue, but not in the medium, unfortunately, which is the one that he's looking for. I can see that I have 0 in stock in my store, but I do have 17 available in the network somewhere else. So I'm wondering if maybe he's interested in having it shipped to him. I can click on Ship to Address. I'll see a list of addresses that I've associated to Bernard, and I can go ahead and select one of those addresses, or I can also add a new one, and I'll be interfacing to Google in order to use type ahead functionality to validate that address automatically. But I'm going to go ahead and select one of the existing ones, and I've got a couple of shipping options in front of me. Notice that each one of those shipping options has a get by date, which is coming from our OMS system based on the rules defined within OMS. I'm going to select the special one because he wants to get it as quickly as possible. So he's okay paying $29.95 to get it by Tuesday, February 25th. So that get by date has been added onto the screen. I've got the address selected on the screen as well, which I can change by clicking on change address. And I'm going to go ahead and add that to the cart. As soon as I've added to the cart, notice that there's a possible deal toast message that shows up at the bottom of the screen. If I click on view, that tells me that because I purchased one of these t-shirts, if I buy a second t-shirt, I can get it for 40% off. So that sounds particularly interesting to Bernard. So here we're giving even more opportunities to the associate to support them in their upselling efforts by telling them that the customer is about to achieve a promotion. I've actually already applied a promotion to the shipping fee on this transaction. You'll notice that there's a pill underneath that t-shirt item saying special for standard. So if I click on the transaction summary, I can see that I've got a discount set up on my shipping fees. So for that particular shipping method, which is normally $30 or $29.95, I'm selling it for the same price as a standard shipping method, which is $9.95. So I'm taking $20 off that transaction. So Bernard is interested in this, and he's looking at the different colors. I'm showing him the green, I'm showing him the different images for the green, and he's interested in getting the green. All right, so all he needs to do now is go and get that item. So I'll probably want to suspend this transaction and allow Bernard to go and grab that item or help him find that item. So I'm going to click on the More menu and suspend the transaction. And at this point, I'm able to serve other customers. A receipt prints, allowing me to scan that receipt to resume it back into the transaction. A little bit later on, we're going to click on the sessions icon at the top of the screen. So that sessions icon is going to give me all of the suspended transactions, and I'm going to click Bernard's to bring it back into the transaction. He's now come with that extra item that he wants to purchase, so I'll go ahead and scan in that extra item. And notice that the promotion activates. So we've got promotions activating across different fulfillment segments within that same transaction. Even though one of the items is being delivered locally, the other one is being delivered through a ship to address. We can see that promotion icon being attached to each of those items. 40% off a $40 item is around $16, which I've configured this promotion to split that up evenly between the two items for $8 each. You can also have it apply uniquely to one of the two items, whichever one you prefer. So now I'm ready to go ahead and check that transaction out. I'm going to click on checkout, and I'm ready to pay. So Bernard wants to use a credit card. I'm going to choose PIN pad. At this point, the PIN pad is prompting the cashier, actually it's prompting the customer, excuse me, whether or not they are okay with the fact that some of it is going to be pre-authorized and some of it's going to be settled immediately. So the portion that's being delivered right away is going to be settled immediately, and the portion that's being ordered to be fulfilled later on is being pre-authorized. The credit card will be tokenized, and they'll be able to pay that later on. It'll be settled automatically upon fulfillment. So I'm going to choose yes to the option. And now I'm going to tap the credit card once. The amount that's being shown right now is what's being settled immediately, but like I said, the credit card is being tokenized so that the rest can be settled upon fulfillment, and it's just being pre-authorized today. So that was approved. It's going to be sent back to POS in order to finish that transaction. All right, so now that I paid for the transaction, I'm presented with the receipt options. As you can see, the email address is pre-filled in because it was associated to Bernard's account. I can print the receipt, I can email it, I can do both, or I can skip the receipt altogether. I'm going to choose print and email. That printed a physical copy, and it's sending an email receipt as well. Once that comes into my inbox, I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. But what I want to draw your attention to in particular is going to be the tendering section of that receipt, where because on the PIN pad, we saw that it was automatically prompting to split tender the transaction between settled and pre-authorized. The same thing is automatically going to happen on the physical receipt as well. Even though I only tapped my credit card once, it's going to automatically be split up between pre-authorized and settled. So I've got that receipt here. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. We can see that promotion was successfully applied, the in-store purchases section, the ship to order section, but again, drawing your attention to that automatic splitting of the tendering between the settled and the pre-authorized portion of the transaction. So that completes my portion. Now you're all curious to see what happens on the fulfilling side, so I'll pass it over to Lindsay, who's going to show you what it looks like to pick and pack that order at the fulfilling side.
Thanks, Chris. So as you saw, Chris placed the order for Bernard, and one of his items is being shipped to him. So that item was routed to my store. I did receive a push notification, but we missed it. So I'll feed in another order through API so you can see that push notification. Before I do that, I did want to highlight that what you're seeing on my screen is a projection of my mobile device. I'm using a TC52 Android Zebra device. We also run on iOS as well as Windows. And it's important to note that this is the same app that Chris used to place the point of sale order. So you'll notice at the top of the screen, we have the point of sale section. Underneath it, we have the store fulfillment sections for customer pickups and shipments. So everything is all in one application. Let's feed in that order and look at the push notification. So as you can see, I just received that purple toast message at the bottom saying that there's a new customer shipment order. There's also a sound, I'm not sure if you heard it, but there is an audio sound that will alert the store that there's a new order. So here I can select view on the push notification itself and get to the prepare shipment screen. Now let's say the device was near me, I didn't get to it in time. I also received that push notification outside of the app. And when I log in, I can see the top icon, bell icon, that indicates that there are 2 notifications to view here. I also have the ability to see under prepare shipments how many orders are pending to be picked. So directly from here, I see all of the orders that need to be picked for my store. One thing to highlight is this urgent versus normal. This is using our dynamic picking prioritization, which is really just configurable rules that determine what order the store should pick the orders in. So for example, here I have urgent. My express shipping order is in urgent and my ground delivery orders are in normal. There's a lot of variations you can set up for this. A common example might be orders that have been shorted previously. We might want to shoot those to the top and fulfill those more quickly because there's been a delay in the processing. Or another common example is I want to pick orders where there's low inventory. So as the order sits there for a little bit, we can monitor the inventory levels. And if one of the items hits below a minimum threshold, we'll mark that order as low inventory and shoot it to the top so that it's picked quickly. It really just provides flexibility to ensure that the store focuses on the most critical orders first. Another highlight here is the filter capability at the top right. So here I can filter by various tags. Maybe I want to pick all my single unit orders first, and then later on pick my multi-line orders. So here I can use the tags to filter orders that meet that criteria. I also have the search bar at the top, which is useful for maybe a customer service situation where I need to expedite a specific order for a customer. Now I'm ready to start picking. I have 3 orders here, and notice at the top left, it says 3 of max 3. So I have my max batch size set to 3, allowing me to pick 3 orders at a time. So I'll keep these orders selected and click start picking, which is going to generate my pick list. First thing on the pick list you'll notice are the locations. So it says table 1, position 1, table 1, position 3. That's using our pick path optimization, which improves picking efficiency by providing the most efficient picking travel route for the store. And this is configured through a store layout along with assigning the item attributes that you want to map to the store areas. So this can be set up super high level at a department or even down to a specific item level location. For example, we set this up for a specialty arts and crafts retailer that has more than 50,000 SKUs per store. And we set it up to guide the user to an individual aisle, a shelf within that aisle, and a specific location on that shelf. So it can be set up at a higher level or even down to a specific item location. If I click into an item, you can see details of that item, including 1 or more images. If I select that, it will expand it, which really helps the store make sure that they're picking the right product. I have details of the item along with that location that we saw, and we do support alternate locations as well. And you'll notice the on hand and available to pick quantity. So there are 26 units in my store, which means I should easily be able to find one. And they're available to pick quantity is 18. The difference between those is units that might be in a different disposition, like damaged or on a display, or units that are picked and part of a buy online, pick up in store order. Let's scan our first item, and you'll notice that it's going to direct me to a specific slot. It said place the order in slot A. So that is using our pick to slot functionality. I've set up the shipment orders with multiple lines to use pick to slot. And that allows the store to sort items into a designated slot during picking. So each slot is essentially a unique order. And as I scan the item, it directs me to place it into a specific slot for a specific customer order. And this is really useful for stores which process a lot of ship from store orders because it eliminates the extra sorting needed during packing. I'm going to go ahead and scan the next item. So notice it said slot B, place it in slot B. And that same item is also in slot C. So I grabbed two, one went in slot B, one went in slot C. The Yeti tumbler went in slot C. And let's say this last item I can't find anywhere. So I can go ahead and reject this item. The reason codes are configurable. And once I reject it, I'm done picking, and that item will be rerouted to the next best location that has inventory. I will submit my pick here, and now I'm presented with the option to continue directly to packing or go and pick more orders. We'll go ahead and continue to packing. And here you'll see that it breaks it down into the 3 slots. So all I need to do now is select the first slot, scan in the item to my package. So really this is an extra step to make sure that you've picked the right items for the customer. And here I can see the package information, the item I've scanned into the package, the various package types here. I've defaulted a custom package, but if you need to select maybe an envelope or a different size box, that can be selected here. And then the weight is defaulted based on the item data. So at this point, I've scanned in my item into the package and I click submit and print, which makes the call to the carrier. We have out-of-the-box integration with UPS, FedEx, and USPS, which you'll see now. I get a label back from the carrier and I have a pack slip that we can print and put in the package. So I've completed my first order and now it's going to direct me to go to the next slot. I will stop there because you get the idea of packing, but that wraps up the fulfillment of Bernard's order and hopefully gives you a glimpse into some of the store fulfillment functionality. So we looked at dynamic picking priorities, pick path optimization, which sorts the pick list in the optimal picking path, and pick to slot. So now I'll turn it over to Kenneth to wrap things up.
That wraps up today's session. Thank you to our speakers and thank you for joining us. Please continue to submit questions through the chat as we go through these final details. If you would like to schedule a personalized demo with Chris or Lindsay to further explore our point of sale or omnichannel solutions, please send us a message or email at events@menh.com. Our next demo in this series is on April 4th, where we'll take a deeper dive into omnichannel pickup in store, showing how Manhattan's modern POS enables seamless order fulfillment, real-time inventory visibility, and a frictionless customer experience. To register, scan the QR code on your screen and visit manh.com/events for the full event schedule of upcoming topics. We look forward to seeing you next time, and thank you again.